Sway.
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 In the morning.
In the morning.
In the morning.
Shake goes by.
Wake your punk ass up. That
Crust out, y'all.
You know, before we get into the A&R room, but by the way, Rich Nice is here. Ladies and gentlemen, give it for Rich Nice, man.
So much.
The only person I hung out with on my birthday.
How about that?
Other than Chance and April, they made me the vegan breakfast earlier that day. Our
that's
friends,
right.
our good friends. And then Rich brought me, what did you bring me?
Fish.
Yeah.
Good.
Fish.
Brought me some fish.
Fish, plantains, rice.
That's awesome. Good meal.
Afternoon time. Good
Okay,
lunch.
thank you, Rich. Nice, good to see you. I haven't seen you since yesterday.
Besties.
With that said, man, we got our good friend who just they came back up to celebrate what's going on. It's the 13th annual Brooklyn Hip Hop Festival, ladies and gentlemen. 13th annual.
Woo!
Yes, sir.
A round of applause. I was there from day one.
Yes, you are.
Indeed.
Man, it's to me is one of the most credible festivals that hip hop has left. I say left because a lot of festivals aren't focused strictly on hip hop and its culture.
Right.
Welcome him back to the show. The one only Wes Jackson is here.
What up?
Wes, your history runs deep, man.
It's not as deep as yours, brother.
Yeah,
but I'm trying to get there.
It's not big deep take little bitty deep, man.
right.
You know,
Fair enough.
No, but you done a lot before you got involved with the hip hop music festival, right? Talk about that. Where was your beginnings?
Well, my beginnings was when I was on. I went to University of Virginia, and I used to promote shows there, and I was on college radio there. And then when I came out of there, me and a couple of my boys started a company called Seven Heads Entertainment, and that was years ago when we first met. I was managing an artist named J Live, and we were sort of running with that. I guess it was that sort of raucous crowd, Mos and Kweli and Company Flow. So we were part of that Fat Beats crowd, the 12-inch, I guess what they call it, backpack, the original backpack crowd.
Wear that proud, brother.
Listen,
I'm an original backpacker.
I'm not. Yeah, they used to slander it. Now I'm happy. I'm proud backpacker.
Yeah, me too.
Now I'm old backpacker. But so we were trying to. I was managing people and we're doing college promotions. I remember when I was thinking about coming up in here when we all went out to see you and King Tech and we made the West Coast run. It was a big deal because in New York, your counterparts in New York, who shall remain nameless, wasn't giving us any love. But we went all the way out to Cali, and we felt like, this is really, people really do love us. And it gave us a real, kick in the pants. So I was just talking to some of the guys and just wanted to always thank you back from those days, because sometimes when you're struggling with a small business, sometimes you don't think maybe this is not going to work. And then you come out there and you see the lights and the big, studios and getting love. It gives you a little boost of adrenaline.
Man, so, I wouldn't even known that they was faking on you on the East Coast.
Yeah, man. It ain't much different. It ain't much different now.
Same people want to ride with you when your star is shining. Wasn't there when they couldn't see the shine.
That's true. That's a fact.
I get it, but the reason, one of the things is King Tech and I, and to this day, are still the same way. We, integrity. It's kind of a lost art form within the art form, and when I see folks who are really pushing the culture, I know that term sounds cliche, but when you look at what you guys are doing, let's look at just some of the events you guys are having this week, for the 13th annual Brooklyn Hip Hop Festival. Today, told it firsthand with Rakim. Is this an interview series?
Yeah, so it's a series that I do at the Brooklyn Historical Society where I sit one-on-one with basically decision makers, artists. It's a lot of times it's people behind the scenes that you don't really know, or like that real kind of like nerdy stuff. So people, they know Rakim's music, but we're going to actually sit down and talk to him and talk about 30 years of Paid in Full and what was it like hooking up with Eric B and that story of him. It was supposed to be Freddie Fox, I think, doing I think it's Eric B for president. So talk about getting to the behind the scenes, so that with the sole intent for the next version of you, the next version of me can sit there and get that knowledge and sit there and be like, all right, well, this is how it worked, and give some context to the world that we're in right now, give them some gems so they don't have to go through the same obstacles, that I had to go through, now 20 years ago.
Sidebar, is it important, like when I bring up Rakim to a lot of younger folks or artists, or even a younger generation, because they weren't there, they may not know the impact he made. and then when they listen to his music, they go, "Oh, okay, I get it." But isn't that interesting? Because is that the context you're trying to find?
Exactly.
Okay.
Because my wife was also my partners over there. We started this festival to have a hip hop event for our children.
Yeah.
Something that we could go and pass along the culture. And now I realize, in the office, I'm like the old guy, right? And I get excited about Rakim, and somebody like, listen, I'm 25 years old. I wasn't born when Paid in Full come out, so I appreciate what you're talking about in a academic sense, but I have no personal connection. Where I have personal connections. I remember when my Melody came out and trying to talk to some girl, or being in boarding school and listening to Fowler Leader to keep my sanity. So that's what it is. It's like, so everything that we're all talking about, we're gonna put it in front of you. And then especially with Rakim is interesting because when Jay-Z went on that tweet storm and he's talking about his influences, the first person he mentioned was Rakim. So there's people like, I love Hove, but I don't know who Rakim is. Well, then there's a broken line.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a lot of people who want to break the lines and they want to separate us from our heritage, really.
Yeah.
So that's what we're trying to say. Listen, I'm going to explain to you. If you can go in there, you can still listen to Yachty or whatever, but you want to know who Rakim is, and you're going to understand his significance, in the global picture. And then you can make your own, choices after that.
From that point. Okay, Wes Jackson is here. I want to July 11th. Tomorrow is this is a workshop, a career workshop called "Get Paid to Be Yourself" with Rob Stone from Fader and Cornerstone.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what is that about?
So that's hosted by brother Julian Mitchell, who does some work with Forbes columnist and was working with Complex. And he's basically saying that he's trying to spur entrepreneurship. So he has a relationship with Rob. So it's going to be the same thing where he's sitting down with Rob Stone and being like, well, how did you start Cornerstone? How did you start Fader? What's the plan? What about these intellectual property issues that you ran into when BT, hit them with a cease and desist? And they're part of a series, a larger series we're doing within the festival called the For the Culture Conversation. So it's me on Rakim, Julian with Rob Stone. It's going to be Jules with Sycamore. So we're just sitting down like one-on-one and just trying to build it and put on game. And you, not to go on, but you talk about the cliche for the culture, pushing the culture. And it is, people say it is, but that's what it is. What we're about.
That's what we're about. They just throw it out there, though. Like they throw out the word feminism and then get butt naked on a social media and say it's feminism. I'm just trying to understand here, Wes. July 12th, Linda Sarsour.
Yes.
She's a Women's March organizer, but she has her story is just really incredible. She recently was under a lot of heat for using the word jihad. Right. Mike Muse is here. Mike, go ahead. Mike Muse, give us a little context of Linda.
Yeah, so Linda Sarsour is an activist who is very instrumental in organizing the Women's March that recently took place shortly after the inauguration of President Trump. As of lately, she's come under attack for the use of the word the use of the word jihad in a speech that she gave recently. So jihad has a couple of different meanings. And so one meaning of jihad could be a violent war or a violent act against non-believers. Another context of jihad could be a struggle defined internally with that. And so what she was alluding to in the context of it, as she puts it, was that when she referenced this, and if we have time to read what she says.
Go for it, man, since we're here.
Yeah. So what she says, and this is a quote from Linda. She says, "There was a man who once asked our beloved prophet, he said to him, 'What is the best form of jihad or struggle?' And our beloved prophet said to him, 'A word of truth in front of a tyrant leader or ruler. That is the best form of jihad. I hope that when we stand up to those who oppress our communities, that Allah accepts from us that as a form of jihad, that we are struggling against tyrants and rulers, not only abroad in the Middle East or on the other side of the world, but here in the United States of America, where you have fascists and white supremacists and Islamophobes reigning in the White House.'" So that's Lisa Sarsour's words and remarks regarding that.
And she's going to be speaking on July 12th. Right, at the Hip Hop Institute. You guys actually sent a tweet out, somebody from your platform saying that you support her and even more excited to have her be a part of the Brooklyn Hip Hop Festival.
Yeah, because I think in that when that whole thing came in the office, there was a little questions, and same thing the brother's saying over there is like, I know jihad as another word, as a struggle. I feel like we're in sort of a jihad against people who want to paint black folks as drug addicted, hookers. So I am fighting every day against that struggle. Now, I think what people take any word and say, well, when you kill people, well, that's my jihad. Well, that's your interpretation of it. But when that came out, I was like, see, this is a woman that's what we rock with, is standing up there and not being afraid. And she's smart, right? Linda is super smart. She knows that heat that was coming to her when she said that. And I respect that she's like, I'm going to say what I want anyway. And then she stood up there, and we were watching her, and we were getting a lot of the slander on Twitter. And I respect her as an intellectual and as a leader to say what she wants to say and take that heat and continue to drop her knowledge and say, you don't have to agree. You can have a problem with what I'm saying. I'm more excited to talk to her than even I was at first, though.
I'm curious, Weston. With that being said, though, a lot of individuals in mainstream America aren't that well versed in the Islamic religion in terms of do deep dive and understand nuances of the word jihad, as you just described it and as we just explained to multiple meetings. We in the mainstream media know jihad to be this violent act, right? So at what point does the burden of responsibility fall on Linda, or does it fall on you, the host of the festival, to begin to have the conversation, then to educate in order to let individuals know about the nuance of the word?
Right.
Because at face value, it is understandable how one could take offense to that, as we know the word jihad to mean.
Right. I totally get that. And I'm not sort of putting my head in the sand, but we're going to bring Linda to Medgar Evers. She's coming to Crown Heights, to the neighborhood where the brothers and sisters are. So if you have a question, we're putting her right in front of you. You can ask her, do you mean to advocate crashing planes into tall buildings? And she will give you an answer that I feel comfortable will represent what me and Ebony and Jules and everybody, has built. But we got to have a dialogue. And not to kind of bring it back, but I watch this show all the time. And there's people up here, that just sit in this chair that I'm like, they whack, but you give them a chance. You got to have a dialogue. You got to give the Migos a chance to talk.
Oh, you said the Migos.
Well, there was that Migos clip was circling around. But I'm just saying, my son, but at the same time, my son listens to that. My son listens to Yachty and Migos and Travis Scott, and I'm sitting there in the car like, this is sort of whack. And then I put on, what's the old school station up here? Backspin.
Yeah.
So I put on Backspin, and EPMD come on, and I'll be, let me turn that down real quick.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh my gosh, EPMD was not some righteous warriors. They was talking about guns and Jeeps and cars and clothes. So who am I really to judge?
Yeah.
And another one of my brothers, dude that works with us named John Souza, was like, you could go at Yachty all you want, but I remember having to explain Old Dirty Bastard to my mother.
Oh,
and I was like,
Heather.
Is that something that Heather said?
Listen, he's the father of that style.
Has that already happened? Yeah, right.
He's the father of the style.
Sway and I just had this conversation right before vacation.
We just talked about it.
And that was the example that
ODB.
we used. Yep.
It's tough. And ODB is a legend, and Yachty is a clown. So how do you intellectually make that argument, right?
Even Tupac had a nose ring.
Exactly. Hov said.
What?
That's on the
Jay-Z's
444.
in the conversation.
Yeah.
444. Family Feud.
You look at Young Thug came out in the dress on that thing. Pull up some old pictures of Busta. When he was going to the MTV Music Awards. We can't be the old, you can't, I don't want to be that old guy, wave and get off of my porch. So I say, let's have a dialogue and let's put the information out there, and then we can have a real conversation. And then that's the same thing with like Linda. Like, I know what jihad means because I grew up around Muslims and brothers and sisters. The mosque, the dudes from the mosque look out for my kids when they come home from school. So I'm not jumping to these Donald Trump white supremacist, Upper East Side, Fox News foolishness. I'm an enlightened dude that's been around the world. So I'm gonna treat everybody, with that level of knowledge.
Wes just kicked the bar right there, though. Did you see? He just kept coming off the dome with it, too. I was like, how you gonna come out of that verse? Now, this to me is one the most important hip hop festival we have, the Brooklyn Hip Hop Festival. And looking at these panels, yes, she will be a keynote speaker. Linda will, but you got new industry to impact the streaming hip hop in the digital age. You got fashion, hashtag for the culture. April Walker from Walker Wear is on there. Misa Hilton is on there. Stylist, legendary people. Health and wellness panels. You got the check-in, health in my hood.
Got Fab Five Freddy's gonna be out there.
Fab Five
Uncle
Freddy.
Ralph.
Uncle Ralph. You premiering. It's a short film about Russell Simmons.
Yeah, so that's on Thursday
That's
at Mega
okay.
Evers, which is
Okay.
our film portion. Yeah,
Okay.
Too Old to Die Young, which is a short film that Bill Adler, who was one of the first Def Jam employees, his son actually did a short documentary on Russell Simmons. So Bill and his son are going to be there, excuse me, talking about those early Def Jam days. And,
Wow.
again, like put context. Like everybody's like looking at, TDE or Dreamville or even a Rock Nation. Well, before all of that,
Yeah.
was Def Jam, but down on Varick Street, so we need to understand those lessons so that you can build your business, properly.
And the Hip Juice on July 14th, Juice Hip Hop Exhibition.
Yeah.
This is a night event showcasing DJ culture, battles, dance battles, sneaker exhibit, live art. I mean, it's the kind of thing. This is like heaven for me. And then Saturday is the finale concert, and everybody will be performing there. It's hosted by Uncle Ralph McDaniels, Torey, our very own Torey. Yep. Rakim is going to be there.
Yes, sir.
DMX, The Lox, Stretch and Bobbito, DJ Mr. C, Rob Swift, Oswald Benjamin is going to be there. Denzel Porter.
Oh, that's Osmond, yeah.
Okay. Let me see. Give me some else. Who else? Give me thoughts.
So we got also on Saturday is going to be Oshun, these two sisters
Oshun,
from
that's right.
Brooklyn who are great. And on Friday at Juice Hip Hop Exhibition, which is Jules' baby, I think he's been up in here talking to you.
Yeah.
We got the Dreamville, Boz, Kaz, and Omen, who are basically on the same label on J. Cole's label. So that's the night we're going to showcase kind of the next energy. And then on Saturday we got the triple OGs up there. And again, it's we trying to create the heaven for if you love hip hop culture, we can watch movies. We got a Biggie documentary screening on Thursday at Alamo Draft House. So it's just visuals, it's knowledge, it's photography, it's a little bit of everything.
I wish, this isn't, I love Miley Cyrus. I've worked with her, I've hosted stuff with her, but I remember she made a comment about hip hop, and I think she really meant rap, but hip hop to me is a culture all to itself. Rap is an element of it.
Yes.
But I wish folks who borrow from it all the time and use it and utilize it to get their foundation, get their credibility, to get cool, would come to the Brooklyn Hip Hop Festival, and experience all of what it has to offer. Then you'll learn more about the culture itself.
Yes, sir.
And understand why people are so passionate when it gets dismissed, used, abused, raped, pillaged, all of, discredited, everything that happens to it. And that's why, since day one, I respect and will always support what it is you guys are doing, brother.
I appreciate that, brother.
Now, for people to get more information on it, like we're just giving you bits and pieces, but there's so much else that's happening surrounding this festival. What's a direct place they can go to find out more?
Then go to the website bkhiphopfestival.com. Has a breakdown of all the events, all the artist links. You can follow us on all social media at BK Hip Hop Fest, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and then we'll just even more dumping on you.
All this week by quality people. When you see these panelists, these are, those who've actually been immersed in the culture. There's nothing fake about what's happening here. Ain't for no dollar. They've been struggling to put this on every year.
That's a fact. That's a fact, Jack. That's a fact,
doing it
brother.
they're entitled to make some money because they put in their sacrifice, but they've been struggling.
That's right.
What
they say, from your mouth to God's ears. Let's go ahead and make that happen.
Let's get it popping. Wes, hang out with us a little bit, all right?
Yes, sir.
All right, we're inside the A&R room. We'll come back with more. Do we want to do it now? Yeah. All right, cool. Rich, matter of fact, Rich, why don't you play the first song?
Well, it's crazy because we're talking about the history and the different struggle in Brooklyn. And there's a project, every now and again you get music in the culture that comes out and moves the needle one way or another. And this Jay-Z record has been controversy. Some people have been talking about it in good ways. Some people have been talking about it in bad ways. And people still haven't heard the record in its entirety, and people could hear it and then have a better understanding of what it is. This is Jay-Z, produced by No ID of 444.
In case you haven't heard it.
It's Sway in the morning, only on Shade 45.